the power is really in making requests, and whether you're lower status, higher status, when the shit is on, the doors are open, the lights are on, and the show is flowing. None of that matters. The commitment is to deliver and provide what it is that you need to provide. So that was kind of my point about that.
Mhm.
Gabby, connect what you've shared so far, lessons learned, these breakthroughs, the Emmy, what you've learned about yourself, and this doubt that I've learned about you where you've had about starting your own business. And what would you say to others in events that have done or do what you do or are aspiring to do what you do about taking that leap?
It was not easy. It was I had been in events for 15 years, have been, and I worked live TV production. Then I was in healthcare philanthropy, doing philanthropy events. And then I was like, I don't feel like I'm making enough of an impact on the industry. So, full story is when I got my middle management job at the Healthcare Foundation, when I was running an events team, I started to get offered leadership training, emotional intelligence training, and persuasion, which we'll talk about, I know. But I started to get all of that training, and I was like, what the hell? Where was this in 2014 when I was thrown on the ground in Brazil? I was like, just because I
Right.
wasn't a middle manager, I wasn't offered any of that training. And then
Mm.
I looked back at all the events that I had done and all the times that I was successful or I felt the events were successful. And I was like, that was when I had really good relationships. I was really managing the trust and the communication with people. The people around me felt safe and in the loop. I was like, that's not something we're taught, but it is the literal backbone of events. So I'm in this healthcare philanthropy. I'm getting all these courses. I'm turning around and teaching them to my team, and I'm seeing the positive impact that they're getting from it and how it's actually changing the way they're doing their jobs once they have this training. And I was like, events is weird because from day one, even if you're a coordinator specialist, you're a leader. You are a
Yeah.
team lead. You're managing vendors, you're managing volunteers. We need this type of training. This is not something we can wait till 15 years into. Or if we're at 15 years, we still need to be learning it because dealing with different generations, it all is something you need to continually develop. So I was like, I looked at my husband and I was like, okay, we have a baby. I'm pregnant again. This is something that like I really feel like I could make a difference on it. And we looked at finances, we did a lot of talking, and he said, this is something you really want to do. Take the leap. You believe in yourself, I'm going to follow you. I'm very fortunate that I have him. So I was like, I'm going all in. This is something I know can really benefit people. So I took the leap. It was terrifying. It was not the right time. Hello, I'm pregnant. Not the right time to try and start a business, but there's never going to be a right time. So I felt the calling. I saw the opportunity. The people around me were supportive. So I just did it. I did it. I left my job and I went all in. And it was hard.
You strike me as incredibly intelligent. We measure our risks and we take them. But what I would underscore here, or really put a spotlight on, is that couple things: the partnership you have with your husband, all the communication that you did in Brazil, and all these other areas. You guys were in communication. There was clarity,
Mhm.
and you were able to have a footing and just be able to stand firm and say yes. And
Mhm.
then, there's never a good time, Gabby. There's
Never.
never a good time. I mean, it's like someday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Someday ain't on the calendar. It just isn't
It
on the
was
calendar.
I realized that, and when I realized, like, I feel passionate about enough about this, that means it's the right time. Like, this is something I really feel strongly about, so I'm gonna do it. Let's go.
Yeah. I mean, this podcast is I don't know if it's a testament to it, but we prepared. We did our best. We literally at some point turned the lights on and the camera and the mic on and went for. I mean, we did some preparation. We didn't have ESPN Emmy award winning level production and a notion of what we wanted to do, but the point is you got started, and that's what I want to share with our viewers and our
Yep.
audience. It's just so important. Get close to it. Get as close as possible. Nothing's perfect. Perfect is the enemy. It's never going to be your friend, perfection, because you're never going to attain it. We're human. We're imperfect. But move towards it. move in the right direction. You have a big, audacious goal. Every day that you take 1 inch, 1 millimeter, 1 centimeter, 1 foot, 1 yard, 1 mile
Yep.
closer to it, you're moving towards that big goal. It's progress. It might not be visible, but over time it will. So just congratulations for that. It's really, really cool.
Thank you. And something else that I think you'd be able to relate to that I want to make sure people hear because it was kind of eye opening for me is that what I thought this was going to be when I started it is completely different from what it is now. I had an idea of what I wanted to do. I knew I wanted to be about relationship management, but the more I started doing it, I started speaking on panels. I started speaking like I wanted this to just be online courses. Now I'm launching corporate consulting. I realized, I mean, I've known this for a while, but how much I love being on stage and how much easier it is for me to connect with event professionals when I'm talking to them, even virtually, because that's mostly what I do now. But it has completely changed. My course has completely changed. The one thing that hasn't changed is my message, my audience, and like my desire to make it happen. So like don't be afraid to change. If what you start is, you feel called to switch it a little bit, please follow that. Follow that. Take it with you because it never is how it starts out. I'm sure you didn't start out thinking you were going to be a podcast host, but now you're a phenomenal podcast host. So it's like just
Well,
follow the path where it takes you. You're very good.
thank you. Thank you.